Hello guys, and welcome to this tutorial. Actually, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to change the default port of the VNC and Tiger VNC server on the Ubuntu machine desktop, which is running remotely, and you want to access it through the VNC server. I found it useful so that many internet service provider, almost all of them, have blocked the access to the default port, which is 5000, 5900 or 5901. So normally, in normal case, you cannot access it through the default port, and there are steps required to change the default port so that you can access it successfully and without having any block or any problem getting connected to the remote Ubuntu desktop. So let's start. Basically, for this tutorial, I have installed Ubuntu desktop on a server which is remote to me, and it is installed and configured and set up inside as a virtual machine. So I'm going to let's close this and open it again. Let's go to the server. That's my server, which has several VM running on top of it. So this machine is the one that is target of this tutorial. So let's access it through the VNC of the browser. Now let's log into this system. All right, so we can see that we have this, but in normal case this is really not comfortable using the VNC on the browser. So it's really easy and desirable if you can getting access to the remote desktop, Ubuntu remote, by the applications like VNC Viewer, which is available on the mobile phone. You can just simply install it on the mobile phone or on your desktop and access it seamlessly without having any lags or interruption, which is bounded with this VNC on the browser. So yeah, so we have this Ubuntu up and running there. Let's go to this machine and start these steps. The first step we need to do is just navigate to the top right corner of the screen. Click on this button and find the settings. So this window will be appear to you. Just click on sharing, and by default this sharing would be turned off. So it's now the time to turn it on. So turn it on, click on the remote desktop, and this one would have turned off again. So just remote desktop has to be turned on, and enable legacy VNC protocol should be ticked. And when you scroll down and under the authentication, you can find the username and you just change the password here. So after you changing the password, you close this page, close the other page, and get back to the terminal and do the rest of the steps. First, we need to install some packages. Apt install Tiger VNC standalone -server, SSH required. If you would access this machine later through the SSH, xterm, and dbus-x11. So these 3-4 packages needs to be installed on the Ubuntu desktop. Click on enter, just press enter and enter the password. If you can see that I have already installed these packages, so in your case maybe a fresh installation of the Ubuntu, you would have seen just a question asking you whether you want to install those packages or not. You just answer yes, and let it be finished, and just first step is ticked as done. Next, let's go to the next step, and next step is going to be setting up the VNC password by this command. So it is VNC pass WD. You specify password here and then verify it. It's going to ask you if you would like to getting access to, using view only, and you just answer no simply, and that's done. The other step is done also. Next step is going to be creating a file in this directory, which is etc tiger VNC, and the file is going to be, in your case this file might not have been existed, so you have to create it. So if it wasn't exist, go ahead and enter this command. It will create it for you, and later on we're gonna use VIM as editor or any other editor like Nano or VI to put some lines inside that file. So go ahead and you use your own and favorite editor to create and edit this file. So the file is going to be inside the etc tiger VNC, and the name of the file is VNC server.users. Yeah, so the default is, you can see they are commented here. What we need to enter and add to this file is just one single line, starting with colon, the display number, which is 1 in this case, equal to the username of the Ubuntu which you want to get connected to. So you can find your username easily here. It's, in this case it is client, so I'm gonna enter the client here, which I'm already configured, and enter this line. So just that's it, one single line. Press on escape if you're using VIM, and colon and X to save and exit the file. Alright, so we did this step, and let's go ahead and edit another file. So sudo VIM. Oh, by the way, when you install VNC server, it will create a hidden directory for you inside the home directory of the user. So I am inside the client home client directory. Let's see what file are existed here. So you can see all the files with dot are hidden. So we look for the VNC that's here, so we can see that there is a directory here which is hidden. So we're gonna go ahead and create a file inside this directory. So the command would be sudo VIM again, where inside this VNC, definitely VNC, and the file name is xstartup. Yeah, okay, so in your case the content of this file would be just empty, and you need to enter these 5 lines inside the file. So I'm gonna put this in the description of this video, so easily you can copy and paste it and put it inside the xstartup file, right? So let's save and exit. We also did successfully this step. Next step is gonna be, yep, so this file inside .vnc, you can see that this is startup. In your case, it doesn't have proper permission, so what we need to do is do chmod plus x and .vnc xstartup, so the VNC server can access it without any permission problem. So this command is just handling that, and has to be entered with sudo again, and that's it. This is going to be the next step that we did. So next step is going to be creating a service file so that VNC can be run through the systemctl and easily can be started, stopped, and getting a status of this the running service and so on. So let's create a file. Again, I'm forgetting sudo. Sorry for that. I'm a root user. Really favorite user is root. So I'm forgetting sudo every time. So yeah, sudo vim etc systemd system. Inside this directory there is there's a need to create this file vnc server at .service. This file is not existed, so you need to create it. In your case, again, when you enter this command and press enter, you would see an empty file. Don't be scared, just create it. I will put this content inside I will put it in the description, so again you can just copy and paste it very easily and put it inside this file. Just notice I have to mention just a single point here. In your case, if definitely there is a user that there is a different username you're gonna have in your Ubuntu machine, so here line number 3 you have to change it accordingly according to your own system. So in my case, my username was client, so I enter client here, and the group is same as the username, so I enter client again. You go ahead and change it without any problem according to your current username on your Ubuntu desktop, right? And also there is the other thing you have to change here. /home/ would be the same, exactly similar to this, and you just change the client everywhere. You see the client in this file, you change it according to your current user which you installed Ubuntu. All right, and the rest is gonna be similar, no change required, and just nothing else. Press on escape again, colon and enter, exit the file, save the file and exit. We did this step as well, and let's go ahead and disable graphical user interface on the target Ubuntu machine, and it's going to be done through this command, which is sudo systemctl set default multi-user. So when I enter this command, the graphical user interface would be just disabled, and I no longer can access it through this browser. Right, and next step is going to be rebooting the system, and after reboot we're going to SSH to the system and continue doing the rest of the steps. Let's reboot this. Waiting for the machine to boot up. Yep. Okay, it is on now, up and running. You can see that there is no graphical user interface anymore. All right, so what we can do here, either you log in here or the SSH. Let's SSH to target remote Ubuntu desktop. And the password. Oh, just a typo. Sorry about that. The username is client. Yeah. Now, okay. This is the final step, that we will change the actual port. So whatever step we did for installing the VNC and the requirements are done, we are going to go ahead and just change the default port after this. Now let's enter this command, sudo cp /etc tiger VNC. There are two files, VNC server.config, the default. We're gonna copy these two files. First file is vnc server.config-defaults to the VNC, which is VNC folder, which is inside the current directory. So we're gonna copy this file, which is existed here, and copy it inside the .vnc. Right? So we did this. I already copied that. In your case, you have to just press enter. And the other one, which is sudo cp etc tiger VNC VNC server -config -mandatory. So we don't change this file, just copy the same file as it is inside the VNC folder. So I did that step. I'm not going to press enter here, and just for you just copy this file inside the .vnc .vnc folder like this. All right. All right. So for the previous step, I did some mistake. Let me show you. So the mistake was I have to change the file which is gonna get copied inside the VNC directory to this one. So we have to give a name, tiger vnc.conf. So this is gonna be like this. We copy this file, which is inside this directory in path, inside this path, and the name is vnc server -config-default to the .vnc, and the new name is going to be tigervnc.conf. All right. I'm not going to do that. I already did that. And what I can do, what I will do now, I just go ahead and edit this file, which I renamed actually from this VNC config defaults, and copied and rename it to this directory. So what I do is sudo vim.vnc tiger vnc.conf. So I open this file, and in your case this file is full of lines, but don't worry, don't be scared. All of them are comments, maybe possibly in your case. what we need to do, we need to add one single line at the end of this file, and this is $sign RFB port equal the port number that you want to get connected to the VNC server. If you would like to choose any port, just enter it here. I like to enter 8001 and 8009, so I specified here 8009, and that's it. And one more thing, at the end of the line and at the end of this file, there is, by default, there is semicolon and 1 existed at the end. So you need to get rid of this semicolon 1, and you will have at the end $sign RFB port equal your port number. That's it. And you click on escape, save and exit. That's it. And you reboot your machine. That's the final step. Sudo reboot. And we wait for the machine to boot up. Close this SSH. All we need to do is just to test if we can get connect through the VNC client, like VNC viewer or any other client. So in my case, it is Ramina, which is by default installed on the Ubuntu desktop. So I open that, I enter the Ubuntu machine IP address, which is 192.168.2.235 in my case, and colon and port number. All right, here it will ask to enter password, which we previously entered, and if you remember, it was first or second step we set for the VNC passwd. That password has to be entered here. So I'm going to go ahead and enter that password, and you can see that I can get connected here successfully to the remote Ubuntu machine using the VNC with the port that has been changed for me here. No 5900 or no 5901, which is going to get blocked by the ISPs here. So with this configuration, you can change the port and easily get connected from everywhere without any problem. Okay, and that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and please subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we upload the new videos, and I wish you good luck. Thank you.